Hello all, how is everybody doing today? A Nice Tale here, bringing you a knife review of this Reate made, Kirby Lambert designed mini Crossroads. As you can see, this one is a little bit unique if you've ever seen the originals. This one has been modded slightly. The white micarta has been polished into this almost butterscotch look, which is really quite attractive. And the entire thing has been blue anodized polished, which also, in my opinion, sets it off really attractively. These things were normally just like, stone washed. Quick overview of the knife, aside from that, is we've got this clip point dropping. I don't know how to describe that one. It's an interesting blade. It's sort of a modified sheep's foot, honestly, but it comes up super high. It's got a hollow grind on it. It's an M390. Kirby Lambert's logo's right there. Titanium frame lock, technically, but you've got overlays on both the entire lock bar and the more cut out part of the lock bar. I don't know how to describe it. There's a lot of fine details here. It's a flipper only knife. Runs on bearings. And it's got a zirconium floating backspacer. Very snappy. Let's get into specs real fast. Blade length is about 3 1/4. Overall, we're looking at just shy of 7 3/4, which means, yep, just shy of about 4.5, maybe even closer to 4 3/8. Yeah, give or take. Oop, gotta move that. Comparisons to the Civivi Elementum for the small knife. And the Civivi Conspirator, as always, for the full-size knife. And as you can see, it's bigger than the Elementum. It's surprisingly close to this Conspirator, despite the fact that it is definitely not what I'd consider a full-size knife. It's sort of like a medium, mid-range kind of thing. But it lands a little bit. I think it is a little more closer to the Conspirator in length than it is the smaller Elementum, though it should be pretty much directly in between them in blade length, like almost dead center in between the two. One last comparison, because I always forget it. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, something else I always forget is if you would kindly like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. Comment down below, leave your thoughts, anything. But a like and subscription would be really appreciated. I'm trying to improve and seeing if I can grow the channel, and we'll see what happens there. There we go. So you have almost 2 full AA batteries in grip for yours. Well, I mean, you can kind of wrap around a little bit at the end, but you have just a bit off the front and the end of those AA batteries for your actual grip position. And you only really have one. I mean, you got two finger notches here, and that's it. So there's nothing else going on there. Before I go into that carry profile, it is not really much in the way of tall. Maybe a tiny bit taller at the peak of the flipper tab than the Conspirator, but what it is thick. This is a thick boy. This titanium is both contoured lightly, but very thick slabs. And I would imagine, though I have not weighed it up until now, that, there we go, 4.57 ounces. That's, honestly, I thought it was going to be about 5, so that's a little bit less than I thought it was. Which, I mean, for the size, it's certainly not an ounce an inch, but it's not bad. It's not unreasonable, and for how thick and much you have in the hand, like, this is a pretty hand-filling grip, so I don't mind it. And I don't think most people would mind it. It's certainly not an ultralight, but it's not heavy. Thickness of the scales, yeah. Over 6 thousandths. Or 6 thousandths. No. 0.6 of an inch, which is over half an inch. It's pretty thick. Blade stock is also quite thick at 157.5. Let's call it that. 157.5 thousandths, which is like Hinderer level thick. However, what is not Hinderer level thick is behind the edge, as it does have a hollow grind, and it comes down pretty thin. Like 12 thousandths behind the edge. Yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to see, but if I can get it to focus, it's quite thin. It drops down substantially. And it doesn't really get thick too fast. Like, most of the hollow grind is a very abrupt drop, so you have definite life there. Which is nice. Very nice, especially on a thicker knife like this. We have a T8 in the pivot, T8 on the overlay screws, T8s on the pocket clip. This thing has to have underlying screws. I wonder if they're T8s. I've never actually taken it apart. I got it modded. Bought it from a vendor that mods. And never had cause to take it apart. Let's see. What are they underneath there? They are T6s. Unfortunate, but you don't actually have much cause to get back on there. You don't have much cause to take this thing apart, most likely. And Reate's T6s, while nobody likes T6s, do tend to be a bit better overall. Let's be honest, Reate does pretty good work most of the time. There are exceptions. I believe... Oh, let me get the calipers off. There we go. I believe that is all of the basic specs. So, let's just start talking about this knife. The hollow grind is great. The vertical satin and the horizontal hand satin juxtaposition is really nice. This is really heavy satin, and this is a much almost elegant looking satin. It really is quite nice on there. You have the Lambert logo, which is the spider with the Lambert, and the Reate logo. And as much as I love and prefer knives to have, nothing on there, I mean, let's be honest, that would look really good. Small, up on the flats, relatively minimal. This is not obtrusive or intrusive or whatever you want to call it. And the M390 is down here, right on the tab, so who cares about that? Got a nice swedge. A clip. One thing I will say is, hold on, let me wipe this thing off. It's also quite sharp, and the satin, the vertical satin, yeah, I keep wanted to say horizontal, is a little bit fingerprinty, but it's not too bad. It's heavy enough that it kind of covers up most of it. Where was I going with the, what else did I want to say about the blade? I have no idea. Big flipper tab, but it's out of the way. Oh, plunge grind, that's what I was going. Plunge grind is not great. Plunge grind is already hitting the edge and starting to smile just a little tiny hair. However, the stop pin is up here, out of the way. You can always cut in a choil, and I mean, honestly, that's what I do. I'm probably going to do that. I have not had cause to sharpen this thing. It has held its edge pretty well, actually. It's definitely not lost some of its bite, but it's held a surprisingly decent, fine edge at this. Well, I guess geometry helps people. I'm definitely going to cut in a choil, but I can do that no problem. Just a Dremel or a diamond rod. No problem whatsoever. Big loud snap, as you can hear on that firing on that detent. Nice little click, but snappy thing. The detent, not the detent, the flipper tab is really well designed. Like, yeah, it sticks up maybe further than it has to, but this slight cant to it, I mean, it just makes for you can both light switch or push button that pretty darn easily, and it just slaps open. And the blade shape is quite utilitarian. You got good access to the tip and everything. It's very useful. Now, the lock bar is very thick. It's not really cut back, but due to the thick scales, like, you can't come in completely from the side, but you don't have to, like, you're not struggling to get in there. You're not coming from the front. Because, you know, it's got thick blade stock, there's good distance between them, and it's chamfered, and even when it's smooth like this, it's pretty darn easy to access. It's not quite drop shut, but it is a light shake shut, very smooth, as one would expect. One thing I really like about this is the pivot hardware. I don't know why, I just really like that look of that pivot hardware. And the way that the inlay is the complete scale here. It's just an overlay, but it's an inlay in this top front part of this knife is very attractive, and that it divides the thicker part of the lock bar from where it starts to get thinner for the cutout. That's a dog. There is also nice chamfers on either side, which, yeah, that really does help. Actually, now that I think about, now that I like think and feel it, these chamfers make it. Otherwise, it might be feeling too thick. It's like too angular, but these chamfers really help and make it much more comfortable, even than it normally would be. And it's pretty darn comfortable to get to begin with the slight contouring and everything. Medium lock bar strength. It's pretty good, actually. Not super strong, but nice snap, nice pop. Pocket clip is super plain and minimal, but it's milled, it's nice. It is quite tight, I will admit. It's a short clip, and it is a bit tight. I've not had too much problem getting in the pocket, but out of the pocket it is a little bit of a tight thing if you're wearing thicker pants, because it's quite stiff. But it wouldn't look right if the pocket clip went all the way up to here. So that's something that has to be fine-tuned and finessed, and I guess they just didn't quite hit it there. There is a lanyard post for those who care. And as I said, this is a polished zirconium backspacer, which is floating and quite attractive. And as you can see, even the little rings around the hardware there, those are added in, have been polished and anode, which is a nice touch. We are pretty darn centered. It looks like it might be off a slight bit this way, but I think it might be because the backspacer is slightly canted and the grind doesn't quite meet it perfectly. But if you actually look down the knife's handle, it looks almost dead perfectly centered. It's kind of hard to tell, but like, see how the grind's a little bit steeper on this particular side coming in? I think it is pretty close to being centered. If not, it's very hard to tell with all of these things meeting up. Which could have backfired horribly if they didn't get it as close as they did, but fair enough. And as far as ergos go, yeah, I mean, you got your two grips here, and they can accommodate bigger fingers, probably bigger and slightly thicker than even mine. Though I guess you could run into issues getting all four fingers on if you have really big mitts. But I can do it, no problem. Come right to the end, but it's super comfortable. It's pretty darn comfortable in every grip position. It's a little bit blocky in like the shove everything in your hand push grip, but if you orient the knife a little bit better, it's all fixed. It's like if you try to go up here, yeah, because you got a curve and it always causes an issue. It just does. But it's not bad. It's even more comfortable there, and the basic saber grip, you're good to go. I don't think I can link these. I will search. Oh, one thing I want to mention is that these were numbered. There were only so many of each one. Looks to be, what is that, 65 or 55 or something. I can't quite read that. It's a little bit fuzzy. Probably because of the extra anodizing layer, but out of 100 it looks like. So there were about 100 of each variant. You know what? I think I can actually link these. There probably are some carbon fiber variants still in stock. I think Crane's Cutlery had quite a few of them. Just they got quite a few of them in general, and I think there might still be some in there, like red tiger stripe carbon fiber and maybe a green tiger stripe jungle wear carbon fiber. Maybe. I think they also had like a zebra pattern one where it was just a bunch of white and black. These particular variants with the micarta, I'm pretty sure are gone. But I'll see what I can do with finding and linking something. You can use my link. You don't have to. I don't. Other than the Amazon links, I don't get commissions from anything, so I'm too small of a channel to worry about that stuff right now. Which you could help with the subscription. Yeah. But other than that, no, this is a really nice smaller knife that has a lot of presence with that big thick blade stock and the big thick handles. But it performs and is like a smaller, thinner knife. That makes no sense whatsoever. It performs like a smaller, thinner knife, but you've got the mass of something much heavier duty, which is kind of nice. And sets it apart from a lot of its other, like, the opposition in the same category. Like, just looking at it like this on the site or something like that, you wouldn't know that it's got so much. What the heck is he barking at? You wouldn't know that it's got so much, mass to it, and that it feels like a larger knife in hand. So I think that's important to point out. Other than that, I think we're done here with the Kirby, Lambert, and Reate made mini Crossroads. What the heck is that? Oh, nothing. I just have some oil on my hand. I thought I just saw a scratch. No, sir. I really like this one. I do. I really do. But I have to admit, the aftermarket modifications that I've done, though they were done by, again, a dealer, or vendor, or whatever you want to call it, do really add something here. So if you get one, it might be a surprisingly good candidate for some aftermarketing, some mods. Other than that, we're all done here. Thanks for watching. Again, I don't need to say anything about liking and subscribing, because I actually remembered this time, but if you would, that'd be great. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.